Hollywood is no stranger to tragedy, but this one hits different. Julian McMahon, known to many as the dangerously charming Cole Turner from Charmed, and the sinister Dr. Doom in Fantastic Four Haas passed away at the age of 56 after a private battle with cancer. The news was confirmed by his wife and sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, leaving friends, co-stars, and fans stunned and heartbroken. Behind the camera, Julian wasn't just another actor, he was a light in the lives of so many. And now, the tributes are pouring in, painting a portrait of a man who was as deeply loved off-screen as he was admired on it. Real quick, if you're into raw, unfiltered breakdowns of Hollywood's biggest stories, hit that like button and subscribe. We dive deep into the celebrity moments everyone's talking about, no fluff, no filter. Let's unpack the impact of Julian McMahon's death, what his co-stars are revealing, and why this loss feels personal to so many. In the wake of his passing, Julian McMahon is being remembered not just for his filmography, but for the human being he was behind the scenes. News broke through Deadline after confirmation from his wife, who revealed that Julian had been quietly battling cancer completely out of the public eye. In an age where celebrity illnesses are often shared and documented in real time, Julian's decision to keep his health struggle private says everything about the kind of man he was: dignified, private, and focused on his family and close circle. The entertainment world is reeling, not only from the suddenness of the announcement, but because his legacy spans generations of viewers, from soap opera fans to superhero movie buffs. This isn't just about losing a star. It's about losing someone who shaped people's memories, someone who was a mainstay in living rooms and cinema screens for decades. And now, Hollywood has been forced to grapple with the quiet but devastating departure of a man whose presence once felt larger than life. As news of his death spread, it was the reaction from his co-stars and Hollywood insiders that really underscored the depth of this loss. These weren't empty PR statements or obligatory condolences, these were raw, personal tributes from people who knew Julian behind the scenes. It started with a few heartfelt posts and quickly snowballed into a digital wave of love and remembrance. Everyone who had crossed paths with him described him the same way: warm, charming, kind-hearted, and unforgettable. And that says something. In an industry where egos often outshine empathy, Julian stood out for all the right reasons. These weren't just co-workers mourning an industry colleague, they were mourning a friend, a mentor, and for many, someone who left a permanent emotional imprint. This outpouring showed that Julian McMahon wasn't just a great actor, he was a great person, a presence that made people feel seen and valued in a business that so often does the opposite. The most emotional tribute came from Alyssa Milano, his longtime co-star on Charmed. Her Instagram post stopped fans in their tracks. Accompanied by a series of behind-the-scenes photos, she poured her heart out in a message that hit on all fronts: grief, gratitude, and memory. She called Julian magic not just because of his undeniable screen presence, but because of the way he made people feel. She reflected on their years together on the set of Charmed, not as just co-stars, but as creative partners navigating fame, long hours, and the highs and lows of being in the spotlight. Julian wasn't just her television husband, he was someone who made her feel safe, challenged her as an actress, supported her as a woman, and always showed up as a friend. You know those people who just get you? That's what Julian was to Alyssa. No ego, no tension, just connection. The kind that doesn't need to be explained. That rare kind of friendship where even silence says something. You don't forget someone like that. Not ever. It's one thing to lose a colleague, it's another to lose someone who shaped a chapter of your life. Her tribute was more than just a goodbye, it was a celebration of a friendship that spanned decades and defined a generation of television history. Julian's presence, as described by Milano, was something that transcended the script. He didn't just act his role, she embodied them. Off-screen, he carried a soulful energy that you couldn't fake. Alyssa described how he could walk into a room and completely shift the atmosphere, not because of fame or vanity, but because of the genuine warmth and curiosity he brought with him. He lit up spaces with ease, made people laugh, and offered a level of emotional intelligence that's rare in an industry built on performance. She remembered how he made her feel safe, something many women in Hollywood rarely get to say about their male co-stars. And it was this rare, grounded, and magnetic presence that made him not just memorable, but irreplaceable. He was the kind of person who didn't demand attention, but got it anyway just by being real, kind, and fully present. In a world full of personas, Julian was all person. What made their on-screen chemistry as Phoebe and Cole in Charmed so iconic is that it was rooted in something very real. Alyssa recalled how they were so different energies, different approaches to life and work, but somehow, they always understood each other. That contrast created a spark, both in their scenes and in their friendship. She spoke of how Julian challenged her, pushed her as a performer, teased her like a brother, but always had her back. It was that balance that gave their characters depth and complexity. Fans loved them not just because of how they looked together, but because their connection felt lived in and emotionally honest. Alyssa's words confirmed what fans had long suspected, that their connection was more than good casting, it was genuine. Their relationship became the emotional spine of Charmed for many seasons, and behind the camera, it evolved into a lifelong friendship that neither time nor distance could erode. Milano's tribute wasn't filled with grand moments, or Hollywood clichés. It was a collection of small, intimate details that painted a picture of a man who cared deeply. She talked about how Julian was the kind of friend who checked in just because, the kind who remembered important dates, who noticed when something felt off, who reached out without needing a reason. That's what made him different. In an industry where people drift apart once a project ends, Julian made the effort to stay connected. He wasn't just present when the cameras were rolling, he showed up in real life. That emotional availability is what so many people are grieving now. He left behind more than just a filmography, left behind memories and moments that meant something. As Milano put it, Julian didn't just make her feel seen, he made her feel remembered. And that's a legacy that matters more than any award or headline. The final lines of her tribute struck a chord with fans everywhere. "Rest, my friend. I'll carry your laugh with me. Forever Cole, forever Julian." That line said it all. She wasn't just saying goodbye to an actor, she was saying goodbye to a friend, to a version of herself from those years, to a shared chapter of her life that helped shape her. And her decision to end with "Forever Cole" wasn't just for Julian, it was for the fans. For the people who watched Charmed religiously, who were swept up in that supernatural love story, and who now feel like they've lost a piece of their own nostalgia. It was both deeply personal and universally understood. Julian's laugh becomes the symbol of everything he brought into people's lives: joy, complexity, lightness, love. And that's the kind of memory that lasts. Julian's impact didn't stop with Charmed. Ioan Gruffudd, his co-star from Fantastic Four, also shared a powerful tribute. Though their characters Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom were enemies on screen, Ioan spoke of how much fun and friendship existed behind the scenes. He remembered Julian as a joyful presence, full of light and laughter, even while filming intense scenes. Imagine being on set for a massive superhero film-tight schedules, long hours, high stakes. And yet, Julian made it fun. Not forced fun, real fun. He made the crew laugh, the extras feel seen, and co-stars feel like equals. That's a rare gift, and that's what Ioan will remember most. He called it an honor to act opposite Julian, describing him as a generous and hilarious colleague who made work feel like play. It's rare to hear that kind of praise in superhero franchise circles, where egos often collide. But Julian brought humility to even the biggest sets. For Ioan to speak so fondly of someone who played his nemesis is proof of Julian's ability to make everyone around him feel valued. He was a collaborator, not a competitor, and that energy made every project better. Ioan's final words, "Godspeed, Julian," were simple but packed with emotion. They captured exactly what so many of his co-stars have echoed, that working with Julian wasn't just a job, it was an experience filled with humor, respect, and emotional resonance. Whether it was a high-budget Marvel movie or a cult television classic, Julian treated every project with care and every person with grace. His ability to shift between villainous characters and real-life warmth is what made him so unique. And now, in remembering him, the industry has come together in a rare moment of unanimous praise for someone who truly deserved it. Everyone, cast, crew, friends, shared the same message: that Julian was more than what he played. He was real, and his absence is being felt in ways that can't be captured in a headline. Julian McMahon's death isn't just the end of a career, it's the loss of a soul who gave more to this world than most people ever saw. The roles will live on in reruns and streaming queues, but the man behind them, his warmth, his laughter, his friendship, those are the things people are holding on to. As fans, all we can do is honor his memory, rewatch his work, and remember the way he made us feel, whether it was as the brooding Cole or the menacing Dr. Doom. Julian left a mark on Hollywood, not with scandal or spectacle, but with soul. And in the end, that's the most powerful legacy of all.